What's one move that makes a tank go crazy in a raid every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk and spit on that thing. You get me?
How's it going, everyone? It's your boy Darshigon coming at you with a long overdue video for Call of Dragons. Man, it's been a while. I've been super busy, guys. As I always say, pretty much in all these videos, it seemed to take weeks in between them. But anyways, I'm jumping at you guys today with a brand new raid. It's Charybdis, something like that. Charcoal Kid, who knows, man? I can't pronounce the name. Maybe you guys can. But it's a brand new raid. We've just jumping in here, and this is just gonna be a test because we do not have anywhere near enough players jumping in this test to be able to see all of its attacks. So I'm gonna call this part 1. And it's just gonna kind of cover some of the basics of this this behemoth in the very initial stages. I'm pretty sure some of the bigger alliances and the bigger content creators that are part of them are going to have full videos coming out sooner rather than later on this guy. But I figured I'd just jump in here. This is a lot more for, I guess, my alliance, but also for the benefit of my viewers that happen to come onto my channel as well. So without much further ado, let's get into this.
You don't know the power
of gaming on the
dark side.
Alright, so this season brought out a brand new behemoth. It's not Charybdis. I guess it's pronounced Charybdis or Charybdis, something like that. Basically, it's from Greek mythology. It is obviously a water monster of some sort that just wipes out all kinds of stuff. And that's where they got the name for this particular behemoth in here, which we all can see is basically just a reskin of the Hydra. However, unlike the Hydra that uses poison-based attacks, this beast uses water-based attacks. At least that's what it says, and you'll see the graphics on the screen. That's basically what it is. Now, we're going to go over all the basic powers of this guy, at least the ones that I've seen. There's a couple that we didn't see because we weren't able to bust its shield, which you can see has in the very beginning, that little yellow line up top. You have to get rid of the shield first before you even start touching the damn thing's health, which is crazy. And there's definitely a lot of mechanics in this game. So I'm going to try to cover as much as I can that we were able to see, kind of talk about what they are, how to avoid them, and what I think we need to do to get rid of them. And, you know, kind of touch on it, but we won't have the full video until we're able to get all of our alliance in here and see what this beast can actually do once we get further into the raid. So without much further ado, let's start breaking down this monster's attacks. So like all behemoths, this behemoth has primal strength. Basically, it's going to be immune to all debuff effects and impairment effects except for taunt. So only thing that's going to work on her is going to be the mask. You can't paralyze her, you can't stun her, you can't freeze her. Anything else that you could try to use with artifacts or skills aren't going to work on her other than, like I said, taunting it. Now, there was some questions on whether or not the Spirit Bangle will work when it comes to her poison spit attack, which we'll get to later and all that. And from some initial testing and thoughts, so far it looks like it will help. We'll cover that in more depth when we get to that portion of the video. So, of course, we'll talk about some of its basic attacks. We have Abyssal Fang here. Charybdis tears at enemies with its deadly fangs, dealing magic skill damage to all enemy legions in a forward arc. So that's when you just see the little head going, whack, attack! And basically pimp slapping you upside your face. That's Abyssal Fang coming at you. Now, I'm not too sure how much it factors in that it's magic damage over physical damage. That has to be something in the game we can look at, but we'll worry about that later. Now, you just saw Tail Lash. This is basically where it uses its tail to get there and slap a bunch of fools that might be all surrounding it. So if you're a melee unit and you're up close, or she just happened to run right in the middle of your pack, when she spins like that, she's smacking everybody with that tail. The next basic thing we're going to talk about are shield scales. Basically, she's going to have a recurring shield. It's 30% of her max hit points. It's going to surround her. Now, you can see here that she has a blue bubble wrapped around her. That's the shield. That's what's protecting her from all regular damage you're tossing at her. You're not going to touch her hit points at all as long as that shield is active. So you guys got to freaking focus fire that sucker down to move into the next phase. Now, we weren't able to get shield down because we had nowhere near enough DPS in our test match here. However, what it says is supposed to happen is when you take care of the shield, it will trigger Maelstrom Mana Stone. Basically, this is where the healing stones pop out, right? So you guys can go there and start grabbing healing stones to healing your units at this point in time. So you got to drop the shield. Healing stones supposedly pop out. We have not seen that ourselves yet, but that's what's supposed to happen. Now keep in mind, once you take the shield down, we gotta go back to shield scales because it regenerates in 90 seconds. So you guys will have 1.5 minutes to just DPS the heck out of this behemoth before that shield pops back up again, and you guys are gonna have to deal with that shield again. What makes this fight extra annoying, at least from what I can tell so far, and I can see it happening as we're going into this, is that this is constantly going on, the shield regenerating and going away, while everything else is going on, which we're going to cover now. We have all these little freaking things popping up and balls flying all over the place, and I mean, it's a crazy, crazy fight. So let's get into those chunks now, because now that we got the basic stuff out of the way, let's talk about the extra attacks that you really have to watch out for. Alright, so I'm going to jump around a couple of videos here to kind of show what's kind of happening. This is when I went in all by myself for the most part, just to kind of see, you know, hey, how much this is going to hurt. And you can see the tail swipe, you can see the Abyssal Fang hitting you, all that stuff's happening. And you can see the little blue shield around her. I'm not doing much here. Now here's where Abyssal Coral happens. This is, as long as she has a shield, coral pillars spawn periodically at 3 random locations within its lair. We have no control over that. It's not like you got to watch out where your people are. It's more or less they're going to pop up wherever the heck they feel like it. Sometimes they're far away from her. Sometimes they're like right on top of her. Now, if you happen to be standing in the circle, the red circle on the freaking floor, where these things are going to pop up, it will knock you up in the air, causing some damage. Basically 5% of your Legion's maximum unit count. So if you have 300,000 troops as your maximum Legion count, you're going to take 15,000 damage just because you were too lazy to move out of the way of those little red circles on the floor. Now, once those coral pillars are up, right, we're kind of hopping back in time here so I can get to the next chunk of this thing, is where you have to watch out for the next thing. And like I said, when those pillars pop up, it's going to be random. Sometimes it'll be right on top of the behemoth. Other times it's going to be far away. Either way, though, once they pop up, the tank needs to do a good job of trying to pull her away from being too close to them. And the reason why is because of the next attack, Coral Siphon. So before we can show you Coral Siphon, let's talk about it. So 10 seconds after a coral pillar spawn, all coral pillars will generate a siphon cell, which moves towards Charybdis. If a siphon cell touches Charybdis, it deals magic skill damage to all legions. That means everyone in the lair for 15% of their legion's maximum unit count. And it grants Charybdis a shield, which is 10% of its maximum movement. So it's going to increase the shield even more. So if you guys haven't knocked down the shield and you're still working on it and this touches her, it's going to make the shield 10% more, which is 1/3 of what it started at, which sucks, right? So if a siphon cell touches a legion by itself, it'll deal magic skill damage to the legion and all surrounding legions for 10% of the legion's maximum unit count. So this is interesting. Let's show you what it kind of looks like when it goes there, and let's talk about how we're going to have to deal with this. So let's go to the video where it's just me by myself, so there's not too many bodies on the screen. You can see Coral Siphon is starting here. As soon as she casts it, a ball will slowly start coming from each one of these. And see, it rolls pretty slowly. Now, the problem is they're going to keep on moving. If you have more than one coral, it's going to suck. I'm going to go run into one. You can see that it does the 10% damage to me there. I'm going to run up to another one and try. I was trying to catch both, but I only got one of them here, right? That's another 10%. But you'll see when it hits her, it's going to cause 15%. See, so I was taking 30,000 damage per hit, and then when it touched her, I took 45,000 damage. And that's what I'm talking about when basically you got to watch out. Now you can see when I got hit by it, there's no one else there to worry about. If there was anyone around me, they also would have gotten that 10%. So you got to be really careful. Now you can see here with multiple cores around her, it makes it even worse. And these are going to pop up, guys. I want to say like what, every 10 seconds or something like that. They come up fairly quick as long as she has a freaking shield on her. All right. So you guys got to take these things out. And unfortunately, there is a mechanism that is able to do it. However, we were not able to get to that phase of this by donking down her shields to cause her to generate that attack to where we could take out the corals, because there is a way to take the corals out. We'll talk about that here as we keep on going. Now, as I said, I have no video of this part yet, but we can assume what's going to happen. Basically, this has to happen when the shield is down. You're going to get what's called Lectoral Link at some point in time. Basically, she's going to mark 3 pairs of legions. That'll be 6 legions in total at random. Now, each pair is going to be inflicted with a different mark and linked together by a line. So you guys should be able to know who you're linked with, not only by seeing the line going in between you two, but also by the marks over your head. Now you'll have 15 seconds to basically position yourself. Make sure that if you're not one of the people with the lines on you, do not be standing on the line, because when it triggers in 15 seconds, you're going to take 50% of your maximum unit count as a damage. So over half your legions gone, dude. If you have less than half of your legions, you're automatically dead. However, on those lines, it does destroy the coral pillars. So what you need to do as a team, guys, is get that line to cross across as many pillars as possible, so that when it triggers, it knocks those pillars out and it eliminates them from being able to toss more balls at him when his shield comes back up in 90 seconds, right? So keep that in mind, guys. You need to use this. Now, it's going to be a lot of positioning, and I mean, I can see months from now when people are used to this raid, being able to pull that off without having to speak to each other or be coordinated, and they'll just know the mechanics. However, you got to keep in mind that we've been at this game for, what, 3 years, 2.5, 3 years now, and there's still people that do not know how to dodge the freaking bear in a raid. So me expecting players to just know that they should move off this line or position it to take the corals out without being like in Discord or some kind of chat where they're listening to these things is kind of a tall order. And I can see this causing some baldness in players as they rip their hair out and yell at their screens because people keep messing the raid up by being in the wrong place at the wrong time. This mechanic is going to cause alliances to break apart from fights. This thing is going to be an alliance killer. I can already see it. Now the next attack is called Corrosive Tide. This is where she's going to straight up Haktua right onto your freaking legion, guys, and toss out some spit right there on the floor. Now you can see that spit goes nowhere. It will just stay there for the entire raid. And this is where the Spirit Bangle will come into play. Now, I haven't seen it myself, but some other players said they've already tested it out, and they say that the Spirit Bangle will erase the spit. I'll have to do some other further testing and see if I can get that on video, but if it does, that's going to be a big benefit to your guys' alliance, because the longer this raid goes on, the more she's just going to straight up spit this stuff at you guys, and there'll be little pools of this spit all over the place that you don't want to step in, right? So having somebody who has a Spirit Bangle is able to kind of go around the raid and eliminate these circles of spit will be very helpful as you guys are trying to dodge these freaking balls and the corals and the prison that's going to be popping up here we're talking about in a second next, right? So watch out for the corrosive spit. Oh, one last thing, guys. The spit, as long as you're touching it, it will continue to cause damage every second on you guys, right? It's going to hit you for about 1.5% of your health. So get off it as fast as possible, right? It's like back to my old World of Warcraft days. Standing in the fire is bad. Standing in the spit is bad. Get out of the spit, all right? Just don't do it, all right? Get out of that spit as fast as you can. The next attack here is called Pelagic Prison. Charybdis is going to inflict Pelagic Mark upon 2 random legions. Basically, it's a big red circle wrapped around you. And it's going to explode in 10 seconds, dealing magic skill damage to all surrounding legions, all right, which is going to be 10% of your maximum unit count. The legions that take damage will be trapped within the prisons. Now, that means, guys, if you're around someone with a red circle, you're going to get trapped in this too. So if you have the red circle, do not run into the crowd. And if you see someone with a red circle, don't run towards them. It's that easy, which we all know it won't be that easy, and people are going to be getting trapped left and right. However, once they're trapped, they can't do anything. They just sit there, stuck in this prison, taking 1% of their legion's maximum unit count every second. All right, they'll stay there until they die or they get killed by other stuff that's happening within the raid. You guys need to focus fire those prisons down. So basically, you target your own legion players and be just attacking it to try to crack that prison so they're able to escape, and then you're able to have them help break out other people. All right, you got to make this happen as soon as possible. So it's super important, guys, that you do not have more than 2 people trapped in a prison. If you get more than 2, it's really going to slow down the entire raid and probably cause you guys to wipe out. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to show a video of me getting caught in it by myself and a quick video of me, well, not me, but I think someone else got it and multiple ones of us got it all in the same time, so you can see how that works as well. Okay, so you can see here in a second she's going to be casting it. Now you'll see the red circles around me and my mini legion over there. That's what you want to not be inside, guys. Do not run into somebody with this. Once it cracks, right, it's going to attack. Blah! You see, now I'm stuck in this prison, and I can't get out. I'm stuck, right? I am going to die in this thing because there's no getting out of it. And that really bites, but it is what it is. So you need someone to crack that prison, and you can see I basically just got wiped out completely. Now, if for whatever reason you don't see the circle around yourself, when your screen goes purple, like I see on the outer edges of mine here, that means that you're the one that has this debuff. That means you need to get your butt away from the rest of your raid. Otherwise, you're going to trap a bunch of people, just like you're about to see right here. So this is when there was more people in our raid. Pelagic Prison is going to get cast, and you can see the one person's running up there. I'm staying kind of close, but out of the range. Unfortunately, there's another unit going with them, and boom, 2 people got trapped. Someone down south, you can't really see where they got trapped as well, but they died from the damage. It will hit multiple people, and like I said, it's really going to slow you guys down, especially if you haven't taken these dang corals out, and there's spit all over the floor, balls flying everywhere. You do not want to have more than 2 people trapped in a prison at a time. You got to get rid of it. Do not be the person that kills your raid because you weren't paying attention. All right, whether that means you're the one with the prison wrapped around you, or you're the one that walks into somebody that has the prison. Get out of there. And so basically, guys, that's the gist of its attacks for the most part. I wish I could have showed you guys the Lectoral Link so you can see that, but we aren't there yet. I promise I'll get video of that when we're able to get to that point. Or I'm pretty sure some bigger alliances are going to make videos on this, and you'll see it then as well. But the big thing here, guys, I can not stress this enough. This is a very mechanics-heavy behemoth, and I like that personally. But when it comes to having an alliance, when you have an eclectic mix of people that are just playing this game very casually, they refuse to join on Discord or any kind of, or even watch a video, right, on how to do these fights. It is so frustrating for everyone else who's actually trying to pay attention and beat these things. So I implore you, speak to your alliance members, make sure they watch a video. Make sure you guys, at the very least, watch a video. Create a game plan on how you're going to do this. Put marks on people so they know who's who. This one here is kind of hard because everything's so random. You don't know who's going to get put in prison, who's going to get the Lectoral Links. So you really can't mark somebody and say, hey, you are going to be in charge of this. Now, I would say I would get some people that have the Spirit Bangle. They're in charge of getting rid of the poison spit. I would maybe have a couple cavalry guys that are able to run around and grab the balls away from touching the behemoth, because yeah, they're going to take some damage, so you might want to have more than one, and they have to be a priority when it comes to that healing stone because they're going to be taking so much damage. Everything else doesn't really hurt you that much. It's all this massive burst damage that comes from these attacks. They're going to get you, but her herself, the behemoth, doesn't hit you very hard. All right, so you don't really need to worry about that. It's kind of like fighting the ice giant. He doesn't do a lot of damage on his own physically against you, so almost anyone can tank it. Kind of the same thing here. Almost anyone can tank her. You just got to really watch out for everything else that's going on. So I implore you guys, find some way of working on this. Otherwise, no one's going to beat this sucker for a long time unless you have a very organized alliance. I don't see a casual alliance that does not have any sort of organization at all and experienced players beating this anytime soon. I can see experienced players are going to be a little upset for a while. But thanks, guys. I know this video is kind of long, but I wanted to cover every single attack I could, give you guys multiple examples so you can see it. Watch your screen, watch the ground, know where you are, just like any other raid, and you guys can do this. I like it. I'm glad that this game has things like this in it because it makes it so much more interesting than just farming around and doing stuff. It's cool. So I hope to see you guys out there trying this. I can't wait to see who beats this sucker first. I really want the frame for this, but I don't see that happening anytime soon for my alliance, unfortunately. Great guys, but we are still fresh and trying to rebuild ourselves as we go, and we are getting better every single time. But anyways, guys, thanks for chiming in for this video. It's a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, and it's not technically long enough because I'm missing some attacks here, and I didn't actually beat it yet. That will be a video that will come out one of these years, I guess. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. I'm Darshigong. Thanks for chiming in to Gaming on the Dark Side. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did and you lasted this long, definitely hit the like button. If you have watched this whole thing and you're not subscribed, what the hell? Subscribe. It costs you nothing to do, guys, and it really supports the channel and makes me happy. Thank you guys so much. Once again, Darshigong, Gaming on the Dark Side. Hope to see you guys very soon. But until that time, I hope to catch all of you gaming on the dark side.
Just tell me what you want, what you need, what you see, what you wanna be. Tell me everything, think it into being. That's how dreams become the real thing. A model of thinking, a bottle to sink in, yeah. I've been coast to coast around this whole globe. I've seen a lot of hope, yeah. I've seen a lot of nope, I've seen a lot of growth, but we can make it more. Yeah, I'll tell you what I want in the middle of the club. I'm dancing up on my chick, I'm showing a little love. I'm listening to this track, got the speakers above, and feel like everything is coming all together at once. I want a good life, good nights, good friends, alright. Make a couple dollars from something I love to do right. Live my young life, grow old with some memories. Living each day with a good vibe energy.